And welcome back, boys. The Idiots Football Show has returned. And you know what? This episode is a special episode. We're going to be talking about our Thanksgiving matchups coming up this week. We're very excited. Thanksgiving, you know what that means? It means good football, good beer, good food, and you can't beat that. There's no holiday that just quite matches up to Thanksgiving. So, you know what, football fans, we're here to give you some information, to talk a little bit about our favorite historical Thanksgiving games, and then to get in to see, what our picks are coming up in this next NFL Thanksgiving week, where we see these games going, what we see happening, and we're all going to come back at you with a nice little lock of the week for these Thanksgiving games. So we're very, very excited. Thank you for joining us, and let's get right into it. So, obviously we're going to talk about our favorite historical games here. It's always nice to look back, to reminisce on good times, really getting to watch, some beautiful Thanksgiving games where you get to make memories with your family and enjoy a beautiful day. So, one of my favorite games really comes from 2014. And this game is a game where we saw Philadelphia dominate Dallas 33-10. Now, it's always good to see your favorite team kill it on Thanksgiving. There's nothing quite like it. There really isn't, And really getting to see Mark Sanchez put up a 2-touchdown day with LaShawn McCoy going absolutely ballistic against the Cowboys, putting up 159 yards and a touchdown. It's really it brings back good memories. It makes me go, damn, why did we trade LaShawn McCoy for fucking Kiko Alonso? But it just reminds me of good times, watching Tony Romo throw 2 picks and get sacked 4 times. There's nothing quite like watching your least favorite team get shit on by your favorite team. I really gotta say. It's truly always an enjoyable moment for me. Something that no matter what, I can look back on and go, you know what, I can't wait for the next time Philadelphia plays on Thanksgiving. Because it's always going to be an exciting bout. This is a team that on Thanksgiving they have a win percentage of about 800. So, the fact that they win 80% of their games on Thanksgiving, it's always something, they always come to play on the big days, on the big games, So it's always good to see Philadelphia really roll. It's always a good memory to remember that, they beat the shit out of Dallas, and nobody's worse than Dallas. It never feels better than to beat up on the Dallas Cowboys. And, we'll get into that shortly because obviously they do play later this week against the New York Giants, so that'll be interesting coming up this week. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite Thanksgiving game. Goodman, what's your favorite Thanksgiving game?
I remember this one really well. I don't really know why, but I just remember Andrew Luck and RG3 being drafted in 2012 and coming out there on Thanksgiving, RG3 specifically, and leading his Redskins to a 38-31 win over, again, the Dallas Cowboys. They almost always play on Thanksgiving, so they've lost a lot. They've won a lot, too. But the Redskins were a team that were really exciting that year because of RG3, obviously, a guy who went on to win Rookie of the Year, #1. But RG3 was unreal in this game. It was his coming out party, really. He had been good all year, but this is the game where he threw 4 touchdowns. He did have a pick, but, I digress. He had a rating of 131.8, one of his best games all time. I just remember RG3 ran the ball well. He ran for 29 yards, but on 7 attempts, he threw the ball better than we've ever seen RG3 throw the ball, probably in his whole career. This is probably still his best game. Pierre Garçon had an amazing game. And then you look at the other side, and the Cowboys put up a really good fight. I mean, Tony Romo played a good game, too, threw 3 touchdowns, threw for almost 450 yards. And then you saw Dez Bryant, the former Raven legend, of course, had 8 receptions, 145 yards receiving, 2 tutties. Jason Witten had a good game, 74 yards receiving. This game stands out to me because it was just a hard-fought, the coming-out party of RG3. I don't know. I remember. It was a long time ago now.
Hey, and you know what? It was a true Thanksgiving showdown. There's nothing quite like it. Really getting to see 2 in-division rivals absolutely battle it out in a phenomenal game on a phenomenal holiday.
And I think this game, I remember this game so well because a Redskins-Cowboys matchup just feels like Thanksgiving to me for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does.
Hey, it's that NFC East battle, man. It always feels like Thanksgiving there. But, it's a very, nothing beats RG3. He really was one of the most polarizing players coming out of college. And it was unbelievable to watch him. I mean, he was so electric his rookie season. And really getting to see what potential he had was kind of an awesome thing to really enjoy and to get to watch. And to see on one of the biggest stages of football. You can't beat that.
And that was in the midst of their, 7-game win streak that they had that season? 7 or 8,
So they were 5-6 after winning this game. So they went on, obviously, to win the NFC East. And, they didn't make it far in the playoffs, and RG3 never really became much down the road. But this is the game we'll all remember for RG3. This was his absolute, I think, best game ever.
You know what? And that right there, that's the legend of RG3, man.
Yeah.
Too bad
Yeah.
we'll never get to see him again. He was an unbelievable player. Really, career got derailed by injuries, and
If
see,
you
that's
watch,
too bad.
if you go back and watch some of his passing in this game, he was so unbelievably accurate, throwing the ball with so much zip. The guy was he had so much arm talent. Obviously before the knee kind of killed his running game, RG3 he still had a great arm, and he still could probably play in the NFL today for a team and be a backup quarterback.
I think he's
I don't doubt that.
one of the biggest what ifs
Big
of
what if.
our time of the NFL.
100%. And we saw in this game the what he could do.
I think both quarterbacks from that draft are the biggest what ifs. That entire draft is the biggest what ifs. I mean, we saw probably the highest rated quarterback that wasn't Peyton Manning at the time. Get drafted in the NFL by Peyton Manning's previous team. And that was such a beautiful thing because we really saw a potential Hall of Fame quarterback really enter the ring, and then on top of that, we got gifted with RG3, a guy who just had so much talent it seemed impossible for him not to succeed. Really did. And you know what? Now we'll move on to one more Thanksgiving game here in the past. Adam, what's your favorite Thanksgiving game, buddy?
I'd like to bring this back to 2012, New England Patriots versus the New York Jets. 2012, the Jets just came off of going back-to-back into the AFC Championship game. And as a Dolphins fan, I kind of hated it. I didn't want to see this team be good at all. And this game really brought joy to my face. It was against New England Patriots. They're the top team in the division, top team in the whole NFL, really. And to see the New England Patriots come out and win 49-19 really put a smile on my face. But we all remember this game as the Mark Sanchez butt fumble game.
Oh, yeah.
This was what really turned the New York Jets into some team that was looking super bright into the future, really looked like they had their star quarterback. Get his literal face ran into somebody's ass and and tanked the New York Jets down to what they really should be, and is that a poverty franchise team. They have not been to the playoffs ever since they made that run, and this game really showed for it. Tom Brady had an exceptional game of 332 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mark Sanchez may had 301 yards passing, but it was all just gimme points at that. The Patriots were winning 35-3 at halftime, so everything after that really didn't matter at all. This game put joy to my face watching my other in-division rival team just get smothered.
There's nothing better than really getting to see Papa Belichick get to own one of his children. The New York Jets. He really doesn't let them ever get a win against him. He really does own that franchise, and it's always great to get to watch that. To really watch someone who understands another franchise and can dominate them year in, year out, and for that team to still never have an answer, to never come up with a reason as to how to beat Bill Belichick. It's always a phenomenal thing to watch. And you know what? I guess that's gonna have to be the one-day contract curse from the New York Jets. So it's what happens when you don't give Papa Belichick the full rights to the office. But what are you gonna do?
It was just a fun game. I will always remember that game as the downfall of the New York Jets.
2012 might have been the greatest Thanksgiving games of all time. When you have obviously that game and then the Redskins game.
Yeah.
So
it was a very, very exciting
year.
So now we're gonna move on. Really look to this Thanksgiving. The 2022 Thanksgiving. There's some great games that are gonna happen on this Thanksgiving, and we're all very, very excited. We get to sit down with our families and get to watch. So, we'll get right into it, and we'll see if we can win you guys some money here by talking about the gambling lines. Obviously we just saw that the state of Maryland has finally legalized sports gambling on the mobile devices, making it so much easier, so much more accessible to really do these types of things. So, we're very, very excited for the state of Maryland. We're very excited for just Thanksgiving in general and really to get this going. So first, we'll talk about the first game of the slate. We're going to see the Bills take on the Lions. And you know what? I don't think that this is going to be too crazy of a game. I really don't think that we're going to see the Lions do too much. I know the Lions have been a very offensive-heavy team. They've really been able to score points and put points up on the board. But I don't know how they're going to play against the Bills. I mean, I know the Bills have struggled a little bit this year and really not looked like the same Bills of the past. But I don't know, boys. I have a hard time going and looking at the Lions line, especially even at 9.5, which is a very large line. I have a hard time going, bet the Lions. I don't see it happening this week. I really don't.
Look, the Lions have played well in the past few weeks. I mean, they've kind of turned their season around a little bit, as much as you can for being a team that's one of the worst in the league. They're not going to go anywhere, but they've been playing with more grit and more ferocity than ever. They've actually looked okay, but the Bills are on another level. And even though Josh Allen's not playing his best football right now, they're just on a completely different tier than the Lions are at this point. They're going to probably win this game by 2 scores.
That's what I'm saying. I have a hard time saying, and this is something maybe that I've just never seen in my lifetime, but you know what? I'm not sure too many people have ever seen this in their lifetime. See the Lions win, what, would this be 4 games in a row if they
I
were to
believe
win?
so, yeah.
I don't remember the last time the Lions won 4 games in a row. I don't think it's possible for the Lions to win 4 games in a row.
Really?
I don't think the NFL is allowing it. So you know what? I don't think it's going to be doable for the Lions here. They're coming off a nice little win streak.
Yeah.
And, it's great to see their franchise, their city really get rejuvenated, really, have a little bit of faith and a little bit of belief in the fact that their team doesn't truly suck anymore. So, I love the Lions. Oh, no, they still suck enough. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really do love rooting for the Lions. I'll be rooting for them at home, but I don't see them beating the Bills this week. I see the Bills taking an easy sweep. Guys, I have a hard time saying that the Bills are going to be stopped on offense. We're going to see Gabriel Davis probably light up the scoreboard, and he's going to be a guy that I'm going to look to take his over on yards, because I believe it's somewhere set at about, I think it's about 43, and I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry about that, folks, but I really do think that taking his line really might be an optimal pick for this weekend, and that's something I'm very excited about. The Lions just don't have much defense. They really don't, and it's going to be very difficult to contain such a pass happy, such a score happy offense in the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know what? Now we'll go into our next game here. Talk a little bit about the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowgirls. So obviously I don't like Dallas at all, but you know what? The Giants are plus 9.5 in this game, and this is 2 7-3 teams coming into Thanksgiving, and you know what? I have a hard time going that this line should be at plus 9.5 towards the Giants. I mean, it's an in-division game. Both teams have shown that they've been pretty exceptional this year. Really been able to get the job done, to score points, to win games, and to look like an effective franchise, even when, all hope might be seemingly lost, even when, Dallas had Cooper Rush starting at quarterback, and the Giants really never picked up anything this offseason besides Brian Dable. But you know what? I really think that this is probably going to be the most exciting game of the weekend slate.
Wow, okay.
And I'm very, very excited. I got to say here, folks, if you see this gambling line at plus 9.5 Giants, I got to say, like Pat McAfee does, it's time to hammer down on that line, because that seems like a gimme. It really does.
I would have to agree with that. The reason it's so big is because the Giants had a big loss against the Lions. The Lions have been feeling themselves, been very good. The offense has been figured out. That's why they've been on this good win streak. But Brian Dable has shaped this defense into a well-coached defense. And I think against the Cowboys, the Giants will figure it out how to stop the run. When you stop the run against the Cowboys, you're going to give the ball to Dak Prescott. And I don't think he can himself win a game against a well-coached team. Especially, I think the Giants are better coached than the Cowboys. I think that'll make a big difference.
Here's my thing. I really think Dak Prescott isn't much more than, an efficient game manager. I look at him and Daniel Jones in the same light as they're both game managers.
Ooh.
They both just, they're not putting up the craziest stat lines. They're really not. The offense doesn't truly run through them. I mean, we've seen it this year how Tony Pollard and Zeke have really cleaned up this offense and made it as effective as it's been. And you know what? This is going to be time for my lock of the week. My lock of the week is going to be Zeke. Anytime touchdown, baby. Because you know what? For some reason, when it comes to the big games, and just in Dallas in general, they don't stop feeding Zeke.
Yeah.
Who knows why they don't stop feeding Zeke when you have a better running back behind him? But you know what? They're going to feed Zeke. I guarantee you we're going to see him score a touchdown, jump into that Salvation Army bin again. Because you know what? This is just something where, you know what, as an NFC East fan, as someone who's watched a lot of this division, sometimes you just know. You just know. And I'm telling you, I know that Zeke will score a touchdown this game, and that just seems like the lock of the week to me, folks.
See, I have my lock of the week in the same game, and with the same team and with the same position. I want to go Tony Pollard, anytime touchdown scorer. I think Tony Pollard has really turned it on in the past few weeks. I mean, he had 49 fantasy points for me this week. This is a guy who's consistently scoring touchdowns. He's getting the ball both out of the backfield and in the pass game. He's a complete running back, and yeah, I know Zeke is obviously sharing carries with him, sharing receptions, all of that, and sharing playing time most importantly. But Tony Pollard's the guy who stepped up in a big way, and I don't think they're going to go away from using him, especially not against the defense that's as good as the Giants. So give me Tony Pollard for any time touchdown scorer.
Ooh, that's exciting. That's exciting, folks. So you heard it here. I think we all think that the Giants are going to take this plus 9.5. You heard two of our locks here. I think it's going to be exciting coming up to really see who's making the money making touchdowns. Who's getting it done. So yeah, let's go. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go Giants. I hate the Cowboys. Let's go G-Men.
Let's go G-Men. I really think
I'm with you there.
So now we'll move on to our next game. We're going to talk about the Patriots and the Vikings. This is going to be an 8:20 game, so only God knows what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins. But the line is at plus 2.5 towards the Patriots, and I have a hard time taking this line. I look at this game, and it's going to be a little dicey because, will we get primetime Kirk Cousins, or will we get 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins? So that's really what it comes down to here, folks. What version of the Vikings are we going to see? Are we going to see a version of the Vikings that know how to play football, or are we going to see the most inept football team in the entire league? Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
You might get
it's
something
crazy.
in between.
Oh, God.
I think something in between is what will give the Vikings the win. I think, their offense is too good. They have so many weapons. That's what makes them this 8-2 team now.
Yeah, not the Panthers, but the Patriots are a team that they should beat by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, they shouldn't have lost 40-3 to the Cowboys. So I don't know where this team's at right now. I think we're trying to all figure that out. Kirk Cousins has had a really good year, and he's been a lot better than he has in previous years. But, Justin Jefferson, of course, is incredible. They're going to win this game. I think it's just by how much, honestly. I don't think the Pats really have too much of a chance.
I think the Patriots offense is just too inept. Mac Jones is not going to be their future. He's nothing special. He has nothing to him that puts him above any other quarterback in this league. And that's why they're struggling. They don't have a coach to also lead that offense into something better. And that's really what sets down the Patriots. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, at least on the Patriots side. If the Vikings can figure it out, they could run this score up. And what I have my pick of the week is Adam Thielen anytime touchdown.
Ooh.
I think Justin Jefferson may get his score as well, but more eyes are going to be on him. And I think Kirk Cousins is going to look towards his longtime man, Adam Thielen, to score a touchdown to be more reliable in this game. And I think Adam Thielen is going to have a very good game today.
And with a defensive mind like Bill Belichick, this really is a guy who he knows Justin Jefferson is by far the biggest threat on this entire Vikings team.
Yeah.
So I think he understands that he's really going to have to probably double up Justin Jefferson throughout this game if he wants to do anything that involves containing this man. Because Justin Jefferson has been unbelievably effective this year. I'd argue that him and Tyreek are really fighting for this number one receiver spot. I could throw Stephon Diggs in there as well.
Definitely
But
is it hard to not bet Justin Jefferson to get an anytime touchdown? I mean, I feel like Justin Jefferson's a guy you almost feel like he has to score at some point.
I don't know. There's something about the Patriots team, they always somehow manage to have good corners, even though they get rid of the best corners in the league.
Jackson,
They always somehow find a way to fill up. It's always the next man up mentality. They really do such a great job with that and making sure that defense is stout. And I think that the Vikings really might have some issues. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is going to be the only game I may disagree with you on, but I really think the Pats are going to take this one home.
Really?
I think it's better. I think you're better off taking the money line for the New England Patriots than you are taking the plus 2.5 spread for the New England Patriots.
I
really do.
Yeah, there's no reason in taking the spread. If you really think the Pats are going to be that good, then might as well just win outright this game. But I still think that the Vikings, their offense is too high powered to be shot down by the Patriots.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting. Well, folks, we really want to thank you for joining us on this episode of the Idiots Football Show. Obviously a little Thanksgiving specialty. So, from us idiots, we really like to thank you. So, idiot number one, thank you for Thanksgiving. Thank you for showing out, really enjoying the day. Let's make sure that everyone enjoys Thanksgiving, to gamble responsibly, to drink responsibly, and have a beautiful time with your family. Idiot number two, Adam, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Enjoy your turkey this week.
Hey, turkey trot. And idiot number three on my left, do you have anything you'd like to say, Goodman?
Go Ravens.
Hey, that's all I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us, and this has been another episode of The Idiots Football Show.